Okay, so we just wanted to touch on some UFO talk because it's been out in the media recently with Bob Lazar being on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast and kind of sparking my interest back at in UFOs. And it's also today, as we're shooting this, is World UFO Day, which is I didn't know that it even existed.
Hello, Earthlings.
But I've been fascinated with aliens ever since I was a kid. I remember my grandma used to fill my head with like a bunch of UFO talk all the time. My grandma was such a believer. I don't know. Back in the day, she'd read these weird books and stuff, and
Yeah.
she'd be like, I remember going on walks at night with her, and she like point to the sky and be like, "Yo, you see those lights there? That's UFOs and stuff." Obviously, out of her,
That's
lying off her
hilarious.
ass, but
Yeah, right.
I loved it. I was a kid. I loved it. She created this fictional character she was talking to on this Ouija board. What you call it? On where you move the words or the letters and all that stuff. It was funny as hell. But anyways, regardless of all that, I think there's a lot of bullshit around it. Obviously, I do believe in aliens, though, no doubt about that. Obviously, the universe is way too big for us to be alone.
For sure, of course. I
Right?
agree with you 100%.
I mean,
It would be a mathematical, irresponsible hypothesis to go and
say
assume
we're
that
the
they
only-
don't
yeah.
exist. Like, that's just so ignorant. Of,
If you
like,
look at
what's
the-
possible to exist, not only in our dimensions that we interact with,
Right.
but in like other dimensions. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
Like,
yeah, who
that we
knows?
can't see, light spectrums that our eyes can't interact with. Like,
Shit.
we can only see between a few rays of different types of light on our
We might be
spectrum.
oblivious to a bunch of stuff that's going around us.
So that's why it's like, it is what it is. So obviously, I think they exist and everything like that. Like, and the thing is, there's a difference between a UFO and an alien, right? Because a UFO is
Right.
like an unidentified
Right.
flying object. It could be just be a drone. It could be anything. You don't really know.
It's an unidentified. So.
Flying object.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is, literally. So, but at the same time, like, aliens do exist. It has to happen. Like, I mean, anything that is alien is things that are not natural to our planet. And when we have debris from like meteorites and
Right.
shit, that stuff like that exists out there. Why can't other things exist out there?
Right.
Just because it's not animate, it's not an animate being and everything doesn't mean other animate beings aren't out there. It's just stupid to.
Dude, I'm sure.
It's just foolhardy. It's like scientifically inaccurate to try to assume that they aren't
Absolutely.
real.
I think the real controversy comes more in this Bob Lazar character over here because I guess the question is he full of shit or is he saying the truth? Because his main thesis or argument is that there's 9 spacecrafts that we have found, and he worked on one of them, and his whole story revolves around that. But basically, that we have in possession 9 crafts, and that's where, like, is that bullshit or not? Is he making up the whole story? Now, my whole thing was like, he's either a complete psycho sociopath, that nerd that found a way to be famous or whatever, and kind of stuck to the story, or everything's true. I don't know. I know you didn't watch the podcast, but like, would you entertain the idea of us maybe having crafts that are secretly held somewhere?
If we did have it, it would have to be covert and not told to the public.
Yeah.
So if we did have it, I wouldn't be surprised at the reaction of denied to the death.
Mhm.
You don't need people being spooked or start freaking out about what kind of technologies you guys are reverse engineering and stuff. You just rather just do it in secrecy.
Yeah.
So why would you tell anybody if you were doing it? So that's what, first of all, gives it credence of it being a believable conspiracy. Second of all is, do I believe him? I haven't heard him say anything, so I wouldn't be able to read into that necessarily. But the concept of us having crafts stowed away definitely is something that I can hypothesize and not completely dismiss immediately.
Mhm.
There's no way to really have facts,
Right.
which obviously contributes to it again being a conspiracy. But it's, if we did hide it, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, why would you want to tell everybody about that? That's just like not smart, right?
Yeah. No, I don't know. At the end of the day, I know might be a little naive or whatever, but and perhaps I want it to be kind of true. I want to know that there's aliens and stuff. I want to believe that. But in any case, I do believe Bob Lazar's kind of stories to some extent. But you never know. Maybe one day we'll find out if it was all bullshit. But I don't know.
The truth always comes to light.
Yeah, the truth is out there somewhere. What was that the X-Files?